Okay, well, last night when I stopped the third video to start the fourth, I realized that the battery on my camera was really low, so I decided to call it quits last night, and here I am a day later and I'm going to resume picking spheres out. I'm pretty tired tonight. It's already pretty late. It's past 10, so I don't know how much real energy or time I have in me, but I'll get at least 30 minutes in, maybe an hour. I turned on the stove behind me. I let it cool last night. I just turned it on again so that I get the pieces nice and warm and the nylon expanded. It's actually quite a bit easier to pick spheres out, just when the pieces are warm, really warm. That makes picking the spheres out quite a bit easier. They're in a lot tighter when the pieces are cold. So let me finish this batch. I always think it's interesting when spheres manage to pack themselves into like little triangles like that. They were in there really tight too, just barely popped it and they shot out. Oh shoot, I didn't check that one all the way. There could have been pieces inside of it. I guess I'll find them later if there are. It's actually easier to assemble puzzles that are really, really tight. It's like really hard to get that last piece in. If you put the whole thing under really hot water, it softens up the nylon enough that it becomes quite easy to put together. Plus, the nylon is slightly lubricated in water. Like, it is significantly smoother. I think it's even smoother than silicone oil. Like if you turn a puzzle, a 3D printed nylon puzzle, if you turn it under water, it is quite a bit more smooth and lubricated. It's pretty nice actually. And then when it dries out, it just becomes rough and stiff again. I'm going to have to take my Fitbit off. Where it's hitting the side of this bowl is just annoying the heck out of me. Once again, I didn't check the insides of that piece. I must be really tired. Alrighty. Yep. There's a sphere in this one. God, this little bent tool is super good at getting those things out. glad I got that. This is the first time I've had a tool like this. This is great. Oh, there's another one in the same spot. And this tool makes it so easy. Wow. Something to be said for having the right tool for the job. Alrighty, I think that's everything. Alrighty, next batch. Ooh, and it's hotter than I expected. Yikes. Well, do a smaller batch, waiting for the stuff to warm up. Yeah, everything's visible. Okay. I've said it many times, but I'm extremely pleasantly surprised at how easy this is going. No real trouble pieces. Pieces that are minor trouble are just that, minor trouble. I've had more than one puzzle where the pieces themselves had like 3mm powder drain holes, just like a single hole in the piece, and then parts managed to get completely packed full of spheres, and I couldn't get any of the spheres out, and I had to cut like larger square windows, or semicircular windows into the into the pieces. in order to get them out. It's not fun when you have to manually, carefully cut every single piece open to get spheres out, and you have to pay attention to where you're cutting and not cutting too much, and not fun. These 3x3 or the middle edge on the 5x5x5 is the I think it's the most time-consuming piece of them all, and it's really minor. It's so easy to get these spheres out of it, and about half of them don't have any in it anyways. You know, the boiling got them out. It's incredibly nice. Even the Paw Pent Ultimate, which is also pretty tumbler friendly, is way worse than this. One of those troublesome pieces. Fortunately, it's not possible to see all the way in, so I gotta make a visual inspection, and then I gotta use this tool to make a sweep. Spheres in it, I can see them. Oh my gosh, it's rusting already. That's really fast. Huh. This is a brand new tool yesterday and it's already rusted. That's pretty impressive. God, this thing works so well. This piece would take me forever to dig out with a little hook like this, but that little bend on the end is great. Alrighty, next batch. Okay, I'm going to stop and start this video. Resume my time. Alrighty. There we go. This is going to have to be the last batch for tonight. got more in there. Oh, that was a hard one. Oh! Oh, there was a plug of nylon. Unsintered nylon in there. Huh. Oh yeah, check this out. Oh, that's a powder. So that hole was full of nylon powder, which I don't know if you can see very well, but it was plugged full of nylon powder that had just never been cleaned out. That's why it was so hard to get that sphere through the hole. Oh no, I can't do that. Shoot. I gotta check the inside of that thing still. I don't know which one it was. I'm just going to pull all the ones off the top. Okay, it was one of those. Yeah, it's got a piece in it. Oh, it's almost impossible to see, but I know it's in there. This one is just packed full of pieces. That's going to be a pain. I gotta get these pieces out first before I try to push down. This is not going to be easy. Oh, that one came out. Oh, this is not going to be so bad after all. Alrighty. Ooh! That was unexpected. Wasn't expecting this to go through all so quickly and easily. Oh, it's not. It's not going anywhere. Okay. This one's got more nylon. This one had a bunch of unsintered nylon powder in the shaft. Yep. Okay. Invariably, I end up stabbing myself at some point during this process, usually once or twice, right in the finger. It usually hurts like crazy. I haven't done it yet, but it just came really close. The last piece I did, I almost stabbed my finger. It's hard not to when you do a repetitive task. You sort of, at first, you know, it feels like a tool, and you're careful and you respect it, and after a while you get so used to it that you don't really can't really notice it anymore, and then you get complacent and you end up stabbing yourself. Well, that was a nylon sphere going into the done basket, so there's probably 3 or 4 now in there. Find them later. Hopefully they're not wedging themselves into pieces. Okay, this one has tons of unsintered nylon powder in that screw shaft. Just tons of it. Huh. It's a mess. This is a first. A teeny tiny porcelain sphere, a really small one, ended up in this hole up in here. Oh, to get it out I'll probably need my air compressor. Well, you know what I can do is I can make this hole slightly wider with this tool. Oh, and there it is. That has to get thrown away. Probably have some more of those and other pieces I just haven't caught. Eventually they'll come out and they'll rattle around inside the puzzle. That'll be extremely annoying. Huh. The top of this piece was wedged into the bottom of this piece, And you can see it's been wedged in there since before the porcelain stage because the top of this is still rough. And it clearly hasn't been polished by the porcelain spheres. That's annoying. And it caused a bunch of porcelain spheres to get wedged in there and unable to come out. So these will probably come out pretty easily. This is a pretty big hole. Here's another one, only this one's wedged in there a lot. Wow, that one's like super wedged in there. There's a piece, and it's just packed full of porcelain spheres around it. This is not going to be easy to get out without breaking this piece. Oh, it's going easier than I expected. Yep, this one hasn't been seen any porcelain sphere wear either. That's annoying. parts behind me are really boiling good. Basically no nylon powder in this one. Oh, what, I can't get the... Oh, I wonder what's going on there. Oh, there's two down there. Maybe I can go this way. Ooh, they're really boiling now. 3 down there. 4. A lot of nylon on the bottom of that pot churning around, or I mean not nylon, porcelain on the bottom of that pot churning around. Alrighty. It's a huge pile of nylon or porcelain spheres in here, and they're all in a self-supporting bridge. I bet you if I just break one out, the whole thing comes collapsing. Yeah. Alrighty, I'm going to stop and start the camera. I've only got a few more minutes in me tonight. Well, all I really want to do now is change the water on this pot. And it's not so much because of the water, it's because I'm sure there's a ton of porcelain in the bottom of the pot. And as those pieces churn in there, sometimes they're going to scoop up the porcelain, so I want to get some of that porcelain out. And so I think the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to put the pot in my sink. Alrighty. And then I guess I'm going to scoop stuff out and put it in here. Yeah. Okay. Add cold water so that it's safe enough to pour. This core is going to be such a nightmare. And getting all these pieces out is no problem, but these shafts are going to be terrible. And then I'm going to have to cut a hole to get the spheres that go inside out. It's not going to be fun. Okay, that should be cool enough that I can safely pour it. Tons of porcelain. That's all porcelain that I don't have to pick out, which is really nice. It's a little bit too hot to touch. Oh, great. That piece just went underneath my dishwasher. It was easy to get. Alrighty. Well, I'm just gonna let these sit and cool tonight. And there was enough cool water in my bucket that I wasn't pouring just like boiling water directly into my bucket, which I think this plastic can easily handle it. I think it's high density polyethylene, so boiling water is fine, but I don't want to take my chances and melt it and have a bunch of hot water pouring out. So I made sure that there was enough cool water already in the bucket before I poured. Yeah, I'm gonna let these cool, and then I'll spread them around more tomorrow if I have time tomorrow. Get them back in the pot, get them boiling again, and hopefully release more. And I'll just continue working on it. I would say at this point, I'm probably a third of the way there, which is pretty fast. Alrighty, well, until next time, thanks for watching.